I was illegally kidnapped by Israel, like 425 other people. We all were in detention, and they put handcuffs on my hands and on my feet. They dragged me, and when I couldn't walk anymore, they dragged me on the ground. They hit me. They hurt all of us a lot. They put the handcuffs so tight that my hands at some point lost feeling, and they laughed all the time. These people were super sadistic. They abused us, they mistreated and hit us, and they took pictures of us. They took off my shirt, and then they just kept on mistreating us all night long. My message to the world is shame on you, shame on all of you, shame on everyone who is silent about this, shame on every government that keeps on trading like Israel, including my own government. They keep on trading with Israel. Israel is the genocide. My government is complicit. The whole of Europe is complicit. The whole world is complicit. So my message to all governments is shame on you, and to all people is please stand up and make noise for Palestine, for all genocides around the world, because if we don't do it, no one else will do it. Like if we don't go in the flotilla, the governments won't solve it. No one will solve it. Only the people can solve it.
It was a miserable process in which I encountered the most awful people I have ever met, the most relentlessly vindictive and cruel people I've ever met in my entire life. Even though people like me, have political protection because of the countries we're from and the passports we're carrying, they were still willing to beat us. They broke my comrades' arms, ribs. Imagine what they're doing with the Palestinian prisoners they're holding right now. They are systematically torturing, raping, beating those people because they don't see them as human.
So we are clear that Israel was ready to escalate. The IOF were ready to escalate. They didn't need an opportunity. There was a woman that crossed a line that they had said nothing about, and she got shot with a rubber bullet for that fact. They were using any moment they could to use violence, even if it was pulling us from one place to another, trying to force us to fall. If somebody said free Palestine, they were very clear. You use words, we use guns. They said this to us repeatedly. We know that on one of the prison boats, as people were being brought into the open space, they were held in groups of 2 or 3 with about 5 commandos, brutalizing them one by one as people were entered into that container. We know on just one of the boats in one of the sections there were at least 15 cases of sexual assaults that have been reported so far. There were over 30 broken bones, broken clavicles, broken ribs. We have people on their way to the hospital right now needing urgent care that was denied to them by the IOF. Repeatedly, as has happened before, we called for medical attention and they ignored us every time. It is unacceptable, and we need to make sure we are very clear that what we experienced was a tiny percentage of what Palestinians in Israeli prisons experience every single day. So if this can be a moment for us to make change, let's make change. Let's join together. Let's hold them to account, because this violence is nothing compared to what they do to our Palestinian comrades. So please, if this can be a lightning rod moment, let it be that. And let us actually finally change the system and hold Israel to account. Sanction Israel. Boycott, divest, anything and everything that we can do in every corner of the world. People can claim our power. It shows we can make a difference. When people stand up, use every opportunity you get to make a statement, to hold people to account. When we do this, change happens. So please join us wherever you are, and rise up so that we can end this occupation, end this colonialism, end this violence, and free Palestine from the river to the sea. End this violence, and free Palestine from the river to the sea.
Kate Malthouse.
Well, Madam Deputy Speaker, as I'm sure the Minister's realising, we're all a bit fed up with yet another gaslighting statement on Israel and Palestine. There is no ceasefire in Lebanon. We all see the killings, the double, triple tap killings on a daily basis. As he said himself, the situation in the West Bank is worse than it's ever been, with rampaging gangs kettling Palestinians into the cities. So who knows what will happen to them. And yet we continue to trade with these people and support them. And in Gaza, of course, whether by accident or design, there is no progress whatsoever, and the situation continues to worsen. As the Right Honourable Lady, the Chair of the Select Committee, said, can he not see that when he stands up and says you will not hesitate, we're all thinking that every statement is yet another hesitation in the face of what is an unfolding picture of savagery across the whole region. But I have one specific question for him on the detainees from the flotilla in particular. If that is what Ben Gvir and his henchmen are willing to do to British and European citizens on camera, What does he think they're doing to Palestinians off camera?
The Israeli soldiers do rape and sexual assault way worse than Hamas. Based on the evidence, based on the empirical evidence, the number of cases that are proven, it's not close. The Israelis do systematic rape and sexual assault. So they use dogs to rape the kids, a huge percentage of the men and the women. And they thought, they'll be so ashamed they won't tell anyone. Plus, as they were leaving the facilities, the Israeli guards would tell them, you better not tell anyone, otherwise we'll kill you and your kids and your parents. Why? Because they're terrorists. The Israeli government is the biggest terrorist organization in the world by the definition of terrorism. It's not hyperbole. It is just an empirical fact. Their civilian kill ratio is the worst in the world. They kill 100 times more people than innocent civilians than Hamas or Hezbollah. And they do the most sick, depraved sexual assaults and rapes of their detainees. And by the way, we call them detainees.